Good day, my friends. It's Billy Mandarino here, the Now-ist. And I just wanted to offer up this free Zoom call training. I've invited social media friends and family members and people that I've run into that are having a hard time with what's going on, with the stress of the world right now. Well, of course, with the virus, with everything we're going through. And what happens is when you become stressed, extremely stressed, as a planet is right now, your immune system, your immunity becomes suppressed. And when it becomes suppressed, you are more subject to dis-ease and for stressors, chemical stressors, physical stressors, things to hit your body, to hit your physiology. But I have learned as a Now-ist and living as a Now-ist now for a good part of 10 years, that stress doesn't assail me the way it assails most people that don't have this immunity built up. And I haven't had a cold or a flu or that type of illness in over 6 years. And I attribute it largely to what I'm going to teach today. I'm going to teach you how to have a Now-ist immunity, an immune system that's resistant to a lot of the stresses. I can't promise you you're not going to get the coronavirus or other flus, but I can promise you from my experience that if you do what I've done, if you do the Now-ist ritual routines, the meditations, the practices, that you're going to upregulate the gene expression of your body. And that's what I'm here to teach you. I want to talk to you about epigenetics. And epigenetics is an emerging science in the world. That's the study. And I'm going to go into some science, some clinical jargon, and some clinical explanations of what epigenetics is and how that reacts to the physiology of your body. And then I'm going to apply it through real life applications, through what a Now-ist does in a day in, day out life. So I want to, first of all, let you know that I'm not a doctor. I can't give medical advice. I am a Now-ist. I'm not a doctor. Also, I want you to get your notes on your phone or a piece of paper, because you're going to want to take some notes on this call or this training. So I'm going to record this so I can share it out to the world, and so people can get the benefit of this wherever they are if they couldn't make the call today, just so they have this information, because I want this information to go viral. I want people to get this information and realize that the inundation of the news, and that's the problem here, the inundation of the news and the inundation of the thinking mind, which is always worrying about the numbers on this TV. Yes, I feel completely gutted by the people that have passed and perished from this virus and the people that are sick. And I know somebody that has the virus, and luckily she recovered from it. But what is wrong is obviously available, but so what is right? There's so many things happening right now. There's families connecting in a bigger way. The planet is getting a chance to breathe. Dolphins are showing up in the Venice Canal. Those waters are clear enough to see wildlife. I mean, the planet gets to take a breath. This is a global reset. And our collective energy and our collective consciousness can take this out of this disease, take this planet out of this disease and give us a balance again. And we're going to learn from this. There's a lot of good we can take away from this. It's not all bad, because life will give you exactly what it is you're supposed to experience. That's the reason these things are showing up. I mean, Marcus Aurelius has this great quote. He says, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what can more aptly suit your needs." And I think our planet needs this reset. It's sad that people are perishing and people are dying, and trust me, don't get me wrong. I'm not downplaying this at all. I just want to be of service to you. I want to help you, whoever's watching this, and your friends, share this with people. I want to help you know that you have the power to upregulate the gene expression in your body, to bolster your immune system, to not be in so much stress and inundation from the news. And God forbid, if you're locked into the news right now and you know every number and every doctor, Dr. Fauci, everything that's going on, if you know everything, you know too much. Less is more. You need to know information. Be informed, don't be inundated, because that inundation is going to create the stress. And it's going to point to what I'm going to talk to a little bit later about in this meeting, is how your subconscious programming creates the dis-ease in your body. And when you have bad habits and rituals and poor routines, that is going to exacerbate your immune system, make it flare up, feel stressed, weaken your immune system, and cause you to perhaps be in a state of dis-ease where you're susceptible to these type of things. And I don't want this to happen to you. So I'm here to be of service to you. And that's the whole purpose why I'm doing this Zoom call. The Now-ist immunity session is just literally for you to teach you some of what I know and what I've experienced in my life, and how you can use this to affect your physiology, your spirituality, your whole body, your whole oneness, the whole life that you are, and how you can help your friends and families with this as well. So first of all, I mean, people are not doomed by their genes. Most people think that you're doomed by your genes. And what if it were possible that genetic conditions only constitute 1% of your state of being? And I'm here to tell you that's the truth, because there's this emerging science called epigenetics. And it's the study of changes in organisms caused by modification of gene expression rather than alteration of the gene code. What does that mean? It means that you can actually upregulate gene expression in your body to create healthier cells, to create anti-cancer, anti-microbial, anti-stress, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, all these different gene expressions that you can upregulate in your system. You have the power, and epigenetics has been proving that. And to speak further of the science, that less than 1% of people on the planet are born with genetic conditions. The other 99% is created by lifestyle, behavior, and choices. So it's the environment that signals the gene. Our emotions have a key factor in sending signals that upregulate or downregulate gene expression. And that's what being a Now-ist is. When you can live in a manner that I'm going to teach you towards the end of this video, when you can live in a way with habits and rituals and routines that take you out of dis-ease, out of stress, out of worry, overwhelm, fear, and anxiety, everything that we're being fed right now and dished up. If you're programming yourself with the TV, there's your first cue that you're programming yourself and your subconscious mind with too much information, with too much overload, with worry, fear, and anxiety. Your attention tends to get overblown. And when your attention is out and worrying about everybody and not focusing on this present moment, that creates stress, because stress needs a past and stress needs a future to live. And if you're living in the future of thinking, when's this going to be over? It's never going to end. Or the past of these people perished and I feel terrible. And yes, we want to pray for them and their families, but living in the past and the future creates stress. The present moment has no past and has no future. It's only now. And that's where the growth is. And that's the energy that I want to teach you about, connecting to that energy more consistently. And the great thing about epigenetics is you signal the gene expression ahead of the environment. You know, you have a highly charged emotion, you know, and that signals the gene. That's why in the study, and the study, when they map the human genome, they realized that 99% of the population, you know, don't have congenital juvenile onset like MS or type 1 diabetes or sickle cell anemia or all of these type of genetic conditions. That's only 1%. The other 99% are environment, its choices, and behavior. And when you can change your environment and your choices and your behavior, then you can change how your genes express themselves. And you can become stronger. And the stronger the emotion that you're feeling in your body, and it causes the mind to narrow its focus, what I call a convergent focus, converging on these thoughts and your memory. How you think and how you feel create the state of being in your world. And that's what happens. That's what's happening to the world, because we are all converging and having a convergent focus. We're converging on this moment, and we're looking at the news, or we're looking at what's happening, and we're looking at restaurants closing, businesses closing, banks, social distancing. Everybody is converging on this thought that this is what's happening. This is the stressor. This is it. But have you noticed that when you have a stressful event in your life, that you constantly repeat that stressful event, you converge, your focus, your convergent focus constantly is repeating that thought in your head, that worry in your head, that fear in your head. It's like a hamster, it just goes. It's like the worrying hamster, the worrying gerbil. It just keeps going. And that's convergent thinking. That's convergent focus. And no wonder that your gene expression and your immune system gets suppressed, because you're just thinking about that one thought over and over again. That creates the dis-ease, the stress in your body. I know it sounds hackney. A lot of people say, well, a mind at ease will not create dis-ease. You probably all heard that a million times. But I'm here to tell you that's the truth. And it's simple sayings and plays on words like that help people remind themselves that, you know what, yeah, dis-ease, I'm not at ease. I'm converging my thoughts on this stressor right now. And you're repeating it, and your focus is consistently in that moment of stress. But the reality is, to get out of a convergent focus, it takes the opposite, what's called a divergent focus or an open focus. And when you can do that consistently, when you can make it as a habit, as a routine, like you feel the stress coming on you through practice and repetition, that convergent focus can diffuse when you realize, oh no, divergent focus. You're focusing on one thing, it's repeating itself. When you can have an open or divergent focus, and I teach that, and I'll teach you that towards the end of this video, the techniques to how to get into a divergent or an open or broad focus. Because when you can do that, something happens in your physiology. The thinking and the feeling loop is broken because you're opening your thoughts, you're opening your awareness to a broader global feeling. And when that happens, these loops of thinking and feeling, this convergent focus of the same stressor and the same thought cannot survive, because the convergent focus needs this thought that it's not going to end, that I'm worried about, that you upregulate these stress hormones and the cortisol in your body, and it creates this overwhelming feeling. And that's when people have stress, and that's when they weaken their immune system, because you are down regulating, the good gene expressions that heal your body. And the stronger the emotion you feel in your body, it causes the mind to narrow the focus, right? So the key to getting out of this convergent focus starts with certain things. It starts really with your habits. And I love William Wordsworth. And William Wordsworth said back in the day, not choice, but habit rules the unreflecting herd. Not choice, but habit rules the unreflecting herd. We're all ruled by our habits, and we're not making conscious choices. Like right now, we're literally in a herd mentality. Think about the planet. Think about the entire planet right now. We all herding. We're herding to be apart from each other. We're herding to the televisions. We're herding to toilet paper. We're herding to water and to supplies, and we're just like following the masses. It's just this herd mentality. And that's what William Wordsworth was talking about centuries ago. That not choice, but habits rule the unreflecting herd. And we're not reflecting. We're not aware. We're not being present into what's happening. We're being pulled in this herd mentality without awareness, without present moment awareness. And guess what's happening? We're all following each other in this inertia, in this momentum of negativity and fear and dis-ease. And we can snap out of it. And how you snap out of it is awareness. He says, not choice, but habit. You need to make a new choice. You need to have awareness that, okay, wait, I'm feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, watching too much TV, obsessing about, you got to wash your hands, you got to stay away from people, you don't touch your face. These are all correct. Exactly what the doctors are telling us, that is true. That's how you keep from getting a flu or a cold or a virus. That's how I have for 6 years before all this happened. I don't get flus and colds because I do what I'm going to teach you. I have these great routines and rituals, but I also wash my hands more during the season for the last, 6, 7 years. When people walk by, I would hold my breath maybe, so the aerosol, the aspiration that's coming out of their body, I wouldn't take it in during the flu and cold season. You have good habits, but you're not in fear. They're just good habits and good rituals. And that's how you change your gene expression. Because when you have stress, when you have overwhelm and worry and anxiety, it suppresses your immune system. And the key is to, once again, not follow the habits of the herd. Follow your own habits, have your own rituals. And these studies have proven this. I mean, there's a great study that they did. I think it was a Harvard study, and it was probably, I think in the 80s. They did this study on genes, and they took a group of diabetics patients, and they had them go to comedy shows, and for an hour watch this comedy show. And then they were measuring the markers of their blood sugar and their gene expression and what kind of genes are being expressed in regards to their blood sugar and their glucose levels. And what they found is, I think it was 35% of the study, they had their blood sugar levels after they were exposed to an hour of comedy go to normal. There was no dip or base. There was no problem with their readings. They were flat. They were normal. So 35% of the study experienced this upregulating of their blood sugar levels, of the insulin in their body, by laughter alone. And that was a great study that proved the power of epigenetics and the fact that you're not doomed by your genes, and you're not doomed by the fact that most people think that, my dad had a heart attack, I'm going to have a heart attack, or my uncle, has a cancer in his history, or my aunt, had some onset condition that the doctors always says was genetic. But we know from the proof and the science that only 1% of maladies, conditions that come from, the human condition and the state of your physiology, is only 1% is genetic. That leaves 99% to habits, behavior, and choices. So what are your habits, behaviors, and choices looking like? So I remember when I was 46, I had, an arrhythmia, tachycardia in my heart. And my grandfather passed away at 46 from a massive heart attack. And I thought, wow, is this what's getting ready to happen to me? Is this a genetic history? Is this history repeating itself? He is my grandfather. The doctor, of course, the first thing they ask is there heart disease in your family? And I have to say yes. But I realized, once I came out of this tachycardia, all the echocardiograms, the echo stress tests, the Holter monitor, everything that I went through, when they finished it off, and hey, if you have a heart condition, I'm not telling you, once again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you, this is just my experience. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm literally telling you my experience and how it relates to what I'm teaching today about epigenetics and the expression of your genes and how you can control your epigenetic expression in your body, your gene expression in your body, how your DNA works. So long story short, after this episode, and I got healthy and my heart went back to the normal beat. The question they never ask is there a history of stress, hypertension, overwhelm, worry, fear, anxiety in your family? And I wonder if most doctors took that line of questioning. If they said, yes, there's a genetic component, but if 99% of all these conditions are behavior, habits, and choices, and only 1% is genetic, where do you think that leaves the vast majority of people in the 99%? So I'm sure people have stressful choices in their life, and maybe they're drinking or overeating or not dealing with stress and having some out of balance activity to try and compensate some addictive quality or behavior in their life. But I realized that, there's probably a history in my family of dealing with stress and not dealing with stress well and causing, physical problems like heart disease and cancer. And I just took it upon myself and to know that these memes, they're called mind viruses, these memes, these thoughts like money doesn't grow on trees. You have to save for that rainy day, that, you're just like your father or you're just like your mother. These are just thoughts. They're thought forms and there's no truth in them. History repeats itself only if you allow it to repeat itself. Awareness is the key. Your presence is the key. Your awakened presence is the key. And that's why I'm here to cajole you, inspire you, hopefully convince you that you are not doomed by your genes, that you have the power to control your genetic expression of the cellular activity in your body. And what I've been doing lately, especially the last month, or since this has been going on 3 weeks, is I've doubled down on my Now-ist ritual. I've doubled down on how I attack the day, how I enter the day, how I immerse myself in the day. And I'm very, very aware of my mind. And I'm like a gatekeeper at the gate, at the doorway of my mind, and not allowing things in there, in my castle, in my kingdom, things in my mind, in my awareness that don't support me, and not being foolhardy or being, erroneous in my thinking and just for pretending that things don't exist. I'm fully aware of what's going on. I am just the gatekeeper of my mind. And I know that my mind is likened to a garden, as James Allen said. You can let weed seeds plant there, or you can let good seeds. Both are going to sprout. Which one are you going to cultivate? Which one are you going to put your attention on? Which one you're going to groom to grow? You have the choice. I just always plant good seeds in my garden, the garden of my mind. It's so important that you do that. You cultivate your thinking, cultivate what comes into your life, cultivate how you deal with information. So back to my heart, my tachycardia, my kind of AFib heart condition, I realized that my heart was going on erratic beats. And I thought this genetic thing, and it sounds like it's reasonable because my whole life up at 46, I'd heard this, it's just the history of your heart disease. A couple uncles passed away from heart attacks and open heart surgeries. And there's a history of heart disease. But I thought the history of dealing with stress and worry and fear and anxiety is, I think, the greater question to ask. How do you deal with stress? How do you deal with worry and fear and anxiety? How do you deal with overwhelm? How are you dealing with it? Are you dealing with it in a healthy manner that's supporting your physiology? Or are you going to excessive behaviors and addictive qualities that are going to affect the physiology of your body, and the dis-ease is going to proliferate in your body? You are more powerful than you know. And I'm here to tell you that that's the better question to ask. The history does not have to repeat itself, because we know that 99% of the world does not have, it's the condition of the environment of the genes and the condition of the environment of the cell through behavior choices and lifestyle that make that cell become cancerous, become a cell out of homeostasis, out of health, and we can control that. So epigenetics, this study, back to the study from the diabetics that they had to see the comedy show and how they were able to upregulate this gene in their body that flattened out their glucose levels, that flattened out their, their blood sugar levels. That was the big clue, I think, to science in the epigenetic studies early on, that you are in control of your genes. You're not a victim to your genes or to your family history. You can upregulate genes. And that's what I'm going to teach you to do right now. Because what it is, it's about having a ritual and a habit and a consistent habit that changes your gene expression and doesn't allow the stressors of your life to come in. And that's what happens, because the convergent focus creates the stress, creates the anxiety, and the repetition of that convergent focus, converging on a thought, on a feeling, on an event, replaying it in your head, an event from the past. And what happens when you play that event in the past so consistently, you live there so often, that your future ends up being a replica of your past, right? So we think about the heart disease, the cancer history in families. Usually, your future becomes a replica of your past because you spend so much energy, so much of your awareness and your attention is on telling stories about your past. People say, my past makes me who I am. My story of my past is who I am. That's not who you are. That's a story of the past. I understand that you build up your family history and you build up, there's beautiful memories from the past, but the ones that don't serve you, why tell that story again? Why live in that story? Because that's what happens with your physiology, with your body. If you allow yourself to deal with stress the same way your ancestors dealt with stress, no wonder they think a genetic replication of that in your life, and there's a history of that in your life. But you are not doomed by your genes, and that's why I'm here. You're not doomed by your genes. It's possible for you to get into the environment, the habits, and the behavior of your genes through good habits. And that's what I'm about. And that's how you can upregulate the specific gene in your genome and your DNA that heals your body from viruses and heals and upregulates your immune system to deal with viruses and stressors and attackers that are coming into your world, right? Through the viruses that are in this world right now. And if you upregulate your gene, I'm not going to say you're not going to get coronavirus. But what I'm telling you is you can have a huge defense system waiting. If the stressor like that or another flu comes into your life, your immune system can upregulate. And there's a hormone called immunoglobulin A. If you're writing notes, and I hope you're taking notes, and I hope you're taking notes on your phone or a piece of paper, immunoglobulin A, IgA for short. When you can upregulate that hormone in your body, you can express that hormone in your body, it's like the best flu shot you'd ever get in your life. And it completely heals your immune system. And it has your immune system so strong that when the stressors, the chemical stressors come in, the physical stressors come in, the emotional stressors come in, you can handle them. You've prepared your immune system. And to upregulate that gene is the key. And that's what I believe what's happened in my life in the last 6 years. I've lived so much as a Now-ist and in the present moment, and consistently had a routine and a ritual that served me, that every day I was just building up that IgA hormone in my body. I was upregulating that hormone in my body. So when the colds came, when the winter season came, and the news is telling you, the flu season's coming, get your flu shot, prepare, because, it's a nasty one this year, that it didn't happen to me. The last 6 years, it hasn't happened to me. And I am doubling down, like I said, on my practices, because we're going to upregulate more IgA, more immunoglobulin A in your system to upregulate that so you can handle the stressors, so you can handle what's going on. If you can do that consistently and you can have a good habit and a good routine, think about your choices and think about the defense you're going to have built up. If, God forbid, this virus comes around your family, you're going to have like a force field and a shield around it. So it's so important that you learn this. And I kind of have a buildup for this because it seems pretty simple and it seems like, oh, well, I already do that kind of stuff. If you're not doing it, if you're feeling stressed and worried and anxious in your day, and you're allowing yourself to be inundated, then you're not doing it. Because to do it means it becomes a subconscious program in your body. And that's the beautiful thing about this work. I've noticed in my life since I've lived as a Now-ist that, the stressors emotionally, physically, financially, familially, they don't affect me the way they used to affect me before I started practicing this Now-ist teaching, because I've built up this immunity in my subconscious mind. Because throughout the day, there's 95% of you. There's only 5% up here. The 95% below you, from this mark down, that's your subconscious programming. Because 95% of what you do out the day is done with your subconscious mind. You know, I love golf. I can go hit a 250-yard slice without even thinking about it. You know, I can play the guitar without thinking. I can drive my car without thinking about it. You probably bake a souffle. You probably can knit. You probably can create sweaters and crochet, and you do cut hair. You all these gifts that you just do without even thinking about it. You know, hairstylists are just, they're talking away. You know, they're just not even, they're just boom, creating this art out of somebody's hair, and they have this great experience, and they didn't even think about what they were doing. They're just very little of their mind. And that's the subconscious mind that I want to encourage you to activate. And if you activate that through this ritual and through these practices, you're going to shift your immune system. You're going to upregulate gene expression in your body. You're going to have this IgA, you know, hormone bubble up in your system, and you're going to have a stronger immune system to deal with stress. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm dedicating this time in this Zoom call to you, because it works, and I'm the proof. I don't say it to be braggadocious or egoic. I'm just here to tell you the facts that living as a Now-ist, I have not had a cold or a flu in 6 years. And it kind of blows me away, because this is so powerful. And in these times that we're in, these virus times, this tragic, devastating time that the globe is in, you can do something about it, and you can do something about it for your family and for your friends. And this is not conjecture. This is not some woo-woo, you know, talk about how to do this. This is fact. And I'm telling you from my experience and from the science. So we leave nothing to conjecture. There is actually facts that prove that this is happening. And I know from my life, you know, that my Now-ist rituals, my morning rituals, are what give me that subconscious programming, and have given me that subconscious programming for the last 6 years, because I've been religious about it. Not in a way that's like overcompensating, where I'm obsessed and I'm driving my poor family crazy because, oh my gosh, I'm so set in my ways. There's no deviation. That only would create more stress. So that's not what I'm telling you to do. I want to give you some tools. I want to give you some tips, and I want to give you some information to use and to apply to your life, so you can share it with your friends and family, so you can have an opportunity to experience this yourself, and then tell your friends about it, and find out that you are the proof. You be the test. You know, don't take my word for it. I want you to actually do these things. I want you to actually learn how to do these things. And they're not that difficult. It's just about having a habit. Just like our buddy William Wordsworth said earlier, he said, not choice, but habits rule the unreflecting herd. You know, it's because when you become caught up in a habit, you know, you're not choosing, you're just kind of being dragged along this herd mentality. And you find out where the masses go, and you go the other direction. Your chances are better. They're better of getting healthy. Your chances are better of being happy and fulfilled. And putting your attention on what everybody else is focusing on right now, I don't think it's serving you. I don't think it's serving the world, because the world is overwhelmed right now. We got to find peace. We've got to find our presence in this moment, because this moment is pretty devastating to the world. But I believe that the collective consciousness of this world is what got us into this mess. And I believe that the planet and the world and the collective consciousness is ready to take this breath and to reset itself. Like I said, I mean, the environment, the world, nature, Mother Earth is having a chance now to take a breath. And we are encouraged to take that same breath. And don't get me wrong, I'm not downplaying people that have died from this, people that are sick from this. I pray for them every morning, every night, with all my heart. I give them everything to heal them and to bless their families that have to deal with the loss. But as a globe, as 7 billion people on this globe, we have an obligation to them to stop this thing. And you stop it not by fighting it. I mean, how do you experience water? You know, the Tao Te Ching talks about water. How do you experience water? When you grasp water, it just eludes you. When you grasp and go after it, you know, it just eludes you. You have to immerse yourself into water to become one with it. So similarly, I mean, fighting and resisting and struggling and suffering and hoarding toilet paper and doing all these things we do just as the fight or flight system, that's, you know, the fight or flight system is being activated in all of us. Because when you're in the fight or flight system, you either run, hide, or, you know, or run, hide, or just fight. You know, you want to fight. That's what everybody's like, in this fight mode. But that's what got us into this. I believe we've collectively been too focused on not connecting to the nuclear family that is our family, getting too caught up in competing with the Joneses, getting too focused on winning, too focused on being separate from everybody, instead of working together as one and spending time with your family. There's beautiful things that are going to happen from this, and we already see them. I know in my own life, in my family, my wife and I and daughter have this amazing connection we didn't have. I mean, yes, I feel like we were a very connected family. We're deeply in love with each other and just full of love and give such gratitude and thanks. When you get this time, the gift of being together again and kind of being forced to be together again, it's helping families across the world reconnect. The planet takes a breath. So yes, please pray with all your heart and all your soul for those people that are sick to get better, and pray for those families that have lost people in their family. And that's not our intent. Our intention is to bring peace to this world, and we do it collectively. I know every Sunday now going forward across the world, every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, check your time zone wherever you're watching this, they're going to do a 5-minute global 5 minutes of prayer every Sunday until we move this virus on its way. So every Sunday, wherever you are, whatever faith you are, whatever religion you practice, just do me a favor. Every Sunday from now on, spend 5 minutes at 9 a.m. or whatever your time zone is. You just close your eyes and just meditate, practice, pray, be one with this globe in peace. Be there. Serve from your present, quiet heart. And that generous present moment will expand out into the world, and we'll all connect as one globe. And that's how we shift this thing. March 22nd, they had the first global day of 12. It was 2 minutes, just 2 minutes long. The first global day of prayer was 2 minutes. And my wife and I were praying, and I found out the next day that in China, there were no new cases of the coronavirus reported. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. There's a quantum shift that happens. There's a quantum level of connection that happens. And when you can do that, we can consistently do that as a family of the world with our hands and our hearts together, you watch. The subjective part of this is going to take over the objective part of this. The part that your imagination and your heart-centered feelings and the love that you have, that's what's going to go viral. Love will go viral, not this fear. That's what we need to go viral. Let's take this opportunity. Okay, so I want to teach you real quick about the Now-ist morning and daily rituals. This is my routine. And if you'd like to go to YouTube, you can go to Billy Mandarino, the Now-ist. Go to Billy Mandarino or billymandarino.com. You can see all my social media. But if you go to Billy Mandarino on my YouTube, the Now-ist, Billy Mandarino, the Now-ist, you can see I have a YouTube video on about 5-6 minutes long that is the Now-ist daily ritual. And it will teach you what I have been doing now for years to upregulate the gene expression in my body, to affect my immune system to such a degree that the physical, emotional, chemical stressors don't attack me, that I can get through this type of physical stress, and then be the light for other people. By osmosis, speaking of cells, by osmosis, the people around me then have the benefit of my higher energy, my higher present moment energy. And when they have the benefit of that, their lives get better, then they can share it. It's amazing. The power of this is literally mind and heart blowing. It blows you wide open into service. So the Now-ist ritual teaches you how to not use this convergent focus that most people do when they're stressed, but how to use this broad focus or open focus. And in my video, I will teach you, it's a free video right on YouTube. It teaches you how I do the Now-ist ritual, the morning meditations, the Now-ist meditation, the 4 prayers that go along with it, and how that actually shifts the gene expression in your body, and how it starts after you get up in the morning. First thing you do is you go to gratitude. You find something to be grateful for, just one thing. Because when you're stressed out, you're converging your focus. Your focus is just right on this one thing: the news, the death toll, what's happening, the shortage, the lines, the social distancing, the hand washing, the fear. When you're focused on that one thing, you just keep looping it through. But when you can get in gratitude, that's the quickest way to get out of the worry and the stress. Quick story, yesterday I was speaking to my neighbor, and she was just overwhelmed. She's about 80 years old. And she was just overwhelmed. She's alone, and she just feels like she doesn't know what to do. And she's so tired. She can't go to the places she wanted to go before. She just feels alone, scared. Family's not around. She's locked inside. She can't do what things she wants to do to relieve stress. And I said, hey, well, do you know how to meditate? Do you know how to use your imagination? She says, no, I don't know how to do that. I sometimes will go try and find, a CD or something on that, but I don't really know how to do that. I said, well, can you use your imagination? Like right now, I said, could you just close your eyes and imagine yourself hovering above the world. And she goes, no, I can't really do that. So I said, okay, first step, find something to be grateful for, my friend, my neighbor. Find something to be grateful for. And when you find that one thing, just hold it in your heart, put your hand over your heart, and breathe into your heart. Breathe into your heart that one thing you're grateful for. And when you connect your hand and your heart, you can create what's called heart-brain coherence. And that is the quickest way out of stress and overwhelm and fear and anxiety. So my neighbor felt the gratitude for the one thing that she was grateful for, hand over the heart. And what do you think happens? Stress just melts away. Meditation takes time. Meditation is a practice. Meditation, when it's broken down in its word from in Tibetan, it means to become familiar with. So when you're with your heart, you're becoming familiar with yourself. And when you can create that heart-brain coherence, it takes you out of a stressful event. It takes you out of worry, fear, and anxiety, because gratitude is the best multiplier. It's the best multiplier in your physiology, in your life, for your friends, your neighborhood, this global planet. So my neighbor, my octogenarian neighbor, couldn't meditate, couldn't visualize, couldn't use her imagination. But yes, the heart is always the center of the universe. It's the center of your universe. It's the connection. It's where the growth is. So when you can put your hand on your heart, step one, just be grateful, feel that, see that in your imagination if you can. Breathe into your heart. And that creates, if you can use your imagination, you can have coherence with your brain and your heart. That syncs up. And that's the step one of the Now-ist morning ritual, the Now-ist ritual. That's how, when you can do that, and you can take your peaceful present moment awareness, it begins the process of up-regulating the gene expression of your body. And that IgA hormone, that is the best flu shot you'll ever get in your life, that immunoglobulin A hormone upregulates. And that's what will take your immune system, boost it up. Forget emergencies and forget, so what's the other one called? Airborne. I mean, I use those occasionally, but I'm saying the power in this meditation and this practice, 100 times better, in my opinion, of taking an airborne emergency. Vitamin C is huge. Don't get me wrong. You've got to take a lot of vitamin C. It is truly a powerful, powerful mineral and vitamin. But this is something you can do many, many, many times a day. And that's what I do. This ritual does not take long. But the first thing is, find something to be grateful for, the gratitude in your heart. You breathe into your heart, breathing into your heart. When you try that now. It just feels so good. There's an instant disconnect from your thinking, right? And the thinking in the world and worrying about everything. It connects you to your heart center. And then when you can create coherence, if you don't know what that is such a powerful exercise to create coherence, because coherence is order, it's rhythm, it's synchronicity. It's like connecting in this tempo and this rhythm. So imagine there's a huge stadium and everybody's clapping together at the same time. 100,000 people at a football game, a soccer match. Boom. That's coherence. That's synchronicity. And imagine when you can sync your brain and your heart in that rhythm, and you're focused and your feelings with that energy, you create coherence. And then your mind won't start thinking about the things it doesn't want to happen, because energy, we know, flows where your focus goes. You consistently focus on the thing that you're worried about or fearful, that is going to create that example in your life, that physical manifestation, that feeling, it's going to be attracted to you. So it's important to create coherence, because when you can use your gratitude with your thoughts, you can create that synchronicity and that coherence. That's how you upregulate your gene expression, because stress is a stressor. The cortisol level kills that gene expression. When you're stressed out, your immune system gets weakened. Most people that have the flu or colds, because their immune system was weakened, a stressor came in, a virus, a germ came in, and then what do you know? Your immune system can't compete. IgA will clear you up from that. So after you have gratitude, of course, you feel the gratitude, breathing in your heart, you're using your imagination. What I like to do is, when I'm in this Now-ist prayer, when I'm in this Now-ist connection of coherence, I imagine myself hovering above the earth. I imagine this big, beautiful blue marble that we live on. I imagine myself up above the earth and my hands are out, and I'm up there and I'm seeing nothing but the blue arc of the earth. And I imagine, do it now. You can imagine yourself being up above the planet, hovering up there. No gravity of your thinking, no gravity of the world, no gravity of the coronavirus and the problems and the worry and the fear and anxiety and the bills and the money. When you're up there, if you're out of gravity and you can literally hover above the earth, you can't have problems because you would be in such awe up there of the satellites, of the stars, of the planets. You would just be in such awe. So when you're doing gratitude, when you're breathing into your heart and you're imagining yourself hovering above the planet, that is when you can get coherence because you're thinking, your imagination is focused on this image, this feeling. All your five senses are just in awe up there. There's no gravity of the problems or of the world. And then you're breathing into your heart and you create that coherence. That will upregulate your gene expression. That is the power of you. It's the power of the 99% of your environment, of your habits, and your behavior. That's the power. Your behavior has to be a consistent ritual and a routine so that 95% in your body can upregulate so you can have a consistent immunity. It's like, you're creating like muscle, almost like spiritual muscle in there. It's going to be able to deal with any stressors or physical stressors that come into your world or emotional stressors because your spirit is so strong. So then the last step is you need to find something in this world, somebody in this world, some cause, some person, some neighbor, some elderly person, someone that's alone, and find out a way to be of service to them. Someone that cannot pay you back. You pay it forward. I call it PIF, pay it forward, P-I-F, PIF. You pay it forward. You pay it forward to somebody, especially in these times. There's so many people afraid, alone, no family around, like my neighbor. My neighbor who lives by herself and is just feeling stressed and overwhelmed and has a hard time getting out of the hamster wheel of the momentum and inertia because she's inundated by the damn news. She's overwhelmed by the news and she's programming her brain, and that 95% of her subconscious being is just stuck. So imagine you go to sleep and you got that hamster wheel playing in your head. You can't sleep, you can't rest. Your physiology is being taxed, your immune system is being taxed. So you have to interrupt that pattern. Once again, find where the masses are going and go the other direction. Don't go there in a selfish manner. You go there in a way of, I want to better this world. We're going to heal this world together through these practices, through interrupting, where the masses are going, which is being programmed by the news right now and by the overwhelm. Be informed, don't be inundated. Two different things. Most people are inundated right now. We need just to be informed and have new habits and rituals that support what it is we really want, which is this to be on its way. We think from the end where it's all done and we're back. May 1st is here, let's say. May Day. May 1st is May Day. Let's say that's the day. That's the day that everything starts to shift and everything starts to come back in balance. Let's put our attention and awareness on that. Let's send our love and presence and precious present moments out to that. The generous present moment is where the power is. You can live there consistently. And when you pay it forward, when you're of service to somebody that cannot pay you back, that opens up the conduit of giving. And when you do that and you're hovering above the earth, you're above the earth, you're up there, you're feeling disconnected from anything that's gravitational or negative or problems, or where you're just in awe and you're in your heart. And from there and this earth, you connect that conduit that is you above the planet and you on the earth, and you pay it forward. You find somebody to be of service to. And when that happens, the gene expression in your body will upregulate and you will be disconnected from the negative fear, the worry, and the gravity of time, the time-bound world. And you live in the now, in the present moment, in the current vertical time that is you above the planet. Horizontal time or linear time, past future time, that's where most people live right now. They're worried about the past, it shouldn't be happening, how did this happen? They're worried about the future, what's going to happen. But when you can get in the vertical, when you can cross those two, that's the now. So you have vertical time, past future time, you got vertical time and you got linear time. Those two meet, that center section where you take chronological time, you cross it with vertical time or eternal time, that's the now. And that's where you live. That's where all the growth is. That's where the power is, the generous present moment. And in that moment, you can change your gene expression. And I want to teach you more. I'm going to give you some more tools as well. So I'm almost over here with my talk for you. The talk on teaching you how to be a Now-ist and upregulate the gene expression in your body. But I want you to download two apps. There's the Gaia app, G-A-I-A. If you're writing this down, you have notes on your phone, G-A-I-A, Gaia. It's an incredible app. And there's a show on there called Rewired by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And Dr. Joe is one of the most powerful scientists on the planet now. And he has bridged the gap between science and spirituality. And he's doing some incredible practical things to help people upregulate their gene expression. That's why I've learned so much from Dr. Joe. I give him credit for basically everything I've learned about gene expression, epigenetics, and how I've affected it into my life, and how I was doing this before I even met him, but now I know the science. Now it can be taught. And this app has 13 episodes. The Rewired program is amazing. You'll be blown away by it. So download the Gaia app, go to the Rewired series and watch those series. You'll learn how to get out of this worry, fear, stress, and how to change your physiology and your epigenetic expression. He has students in there that have changed Parkinson's conditions, cancers, lupus, Crohn's disease, MS. The list just keeps going on and on and on through his meditation practices and how he teaches people to think and feel differently. And that's what's changing their gene expression. It's amazing. Also want you to get the Wim Hof app. It's W-I-M as in Mary, H-O-F, Wim Hof. He has an incredible app. They're teaching a breathing technique that also upregulates your gene expression. He also teaches you how to take cold showers. And I know cold shower sounds like the worst thing in the world, but I'll tell you, part of my Now-ist ritual is I take at least a 30-second to a minute shower every time I shower, period. And I start that usually after my workout when I'm warm. I go in that shower, it's like, boom. There's so many benefits to taking cold showers that help your gene expression, that help the lymphatic system, helps the blood vessels in your body to be healthy and to deal with these chemical stressors, these viral stressors that come into your life. So 2 things. You need to do your assignment, download the Gaia app, go find Dr. Joe Dispenza, get the Rewired program and watch those episodes. Go to your app store where you can get the Gaia app as well, but get the Wim Hof app. Wim Hof. He's called him the Iceman. He has like 29 Guinness Book of World Records. But this guy was injected with E. coli. They injected his bloodstream with E. coli, right? He had no response. He had no fever, no vomiting, no flu-like symptoms, nothing. Then he took 12 people. For 4 days, he trained them. They injected all 12 with the same E. coli. And they figured, oh, he's just special. These people are all going to get sick. All of them, 100%. No flu, no fever, no coughing, no congestion, nothing. Because his breathing technique, which is very simple to do, and you can do that consistently, talk about even more upregulation of your gene expression in your immune systems. The IgA must be going through the roof. If you do Dr. Joe, the Now-ist, and Wim Hof, you're going to be bulletproof. And that's why I'm here for you. I want you to take action and take it for your family. These things aren't hard to do. You just have to be consistent. Like William Wordsworth says, habits rule the unreflecting herd. Don't be caught up in the herd mentality. Choose yourself, choose your family, choose to be of service. And quick review, what you're going to do to get out of the stress is quit watching so much news. Don't be inundated, just be informed. And then you're going to take your precious present moment awareness, your Now-ist prowess, your consistent present moment awareness. And you're going to have new rituals. You're going to get up in the morning. You're going to get your convergent focus. You're going to quit focusing so much on this negativity and this inundation. You're not going to think about these same things over and over again. You're going to start having a divergent focus or a broad focus. And that happens when you get into your heart. You're going to breathe into your heart. You're going to use your imagination to get that divergent focus going. And you're going to imagine yourself above the earth. You're going to breathe in that heart and create coherence with your brain and with your heart. You're going to see yourself up there. And while you're up there, you're going to focus on what it is you want to bring into your life, what you want to bring into the planet. This virus on its way, us back to normal and better than we were, right? The growth, the unknown is where the growth is. And this unknown that we're in is so scary, but that's where the growth is. And you can grow through this. And you can serve more people. And that's the last thing. PIF, pay it forward. Find people that need help. Serve them. Pay it forward. These are people that can't repay you. You just need to do it without hoping to get anything in return. Not even a thank you. Just do it to be of service. I promise you, if you do that and you watch the Gaia program from Dr. Joe and you do the Wim Hof breathing, take a 30-second cold shower every day, you are going to upregulate your system. Your immune system is going to get to be stronger and stronger and stronger. And the stress is going to dissipate and melt away from your body. So I'm here to serve you. And if you go to my website, which is billymandarino.com, all kinds of free training, tons of free training there. My book is there. If you want my book, I'm happy to give you my book for free. Just go to billymandarino.com, click on the free book. I will autograph and send a copy to you for free, my treat. All I want to do is just really help this world get out of stress, because the generous present moment is where the growth is. And that's what you need to do in this moment, is find out how you can connect to this moment with greater levels of peace, joy, and service. And that's my great mission, to create a legion of Nowists, people that live in the present moment consistently. In my life, 90% of my day, I live as a Nowist. 10%, it hits the fan. Things go sideways and I get overwhelmed, but I correct quickly. To be a Nowist means you're nimble, means you're present, you're aware, you recognize the stress, and you quickly correct back to the present moment through what I'm teaching you. And you can do that. So go to billymandarino.com. My YouTube channel is Billy Mandarino, the Nowist. I have 500 free videos on there, training for you to teach you how to get out of stress and worry and fear and anxiety. I'm here for you. I'm here because I am, here to be of service to the world, to help this world that's in fear and stress and anxiety, to help them find the other way. And I want to teach you the way out. Thank you so much for being here. It's my honor to be of service. Wherever you are, I'm wishing you all the best.